Hey everyone, I'm Jane Lvovskiy. I'm the owner of Supporting Strategies in the Brooklyn and Staten Island area, and I provide the bookkeeping and controller services for businesses. With me today, I have Irene Sinayskaya, who is a partner at Sinayskaya Univer PC, a law firm providing various legal services. And the big portion of the work deals with employment law. And today we wanted to talk about the new development that the United States Department of Labor has announced that it will hire 100 new investigators in its wage and hour division. So I would like to ask Irene what to expect. What should we, prepare as clients?
So absolutely. So as you were saying, the 100 new investigators that were hired is quite numerous. If you think about the potential claims that could be made by employees and the types of businesses that typically are investigated, each auditor and each investigator is able to handle quite a large caseload. And so 100 investigators is quite a lot. We're usually, it makes the news if there are 10 new investigators hired, but 100 certainly is quite numerous. And so this is likely a sign that the Department of Labor will be focusing more closely and increasing the priority of the enforcement actions related to these violations. And this increased focus will likely also inspire an increase in the number of wage and hour lawsuits that are going to be filed by private attorneys as well on behalf of employees, because this will likely be a renewed push towards reviewing these wage and hour claims. And so all employers should conduct a review of the policies regarding overtime exempt employees classification, those employees that are not overtime exempt, and reviewing how they're being paid for the overtime. It's also important to review the policies of independent contractor classification. There were quite a number of investigators that have been hired in recent years specifically for the independent contractor classification. They should likewise review their FMLA policies, that's for the Family Medical Leave Act policies, as this falls under the purview as well here. And determining whether an employee qualifies for an overtime exemption, it requires an evaluation of both the employee's salary as well as their specific job duties and qualifications. So it's really rather a extensive review of the employee and the employers, how the employers are paying, as well as the employees, what their job duties would be. So it is certainly possible to do a self-audit beforehand in an effort to reduce possible penalties and violations and really try to get ahead of any possible audits that can come in. They are able to come back and take a look at, depending on the state, of course, as well, but up to 6 years back. And so being able to do that internal audit, internal review, really being able to sit down with a professional who can really review the books, just like yourself, and would be a huge help getting ahead of possible claims. We do anticipate that thousands and thousands of businesses will be subject to these investigations.
Wow, that is definitely a lot of potential cases. And as a business owner myself, that's, definitely quite a risk to take. So I would make sure that we follow the guidelines. And I would just have to add to that, making sure you have all the appropriate payroll reports. Sometimes you could be switching payroll providers and that information might not be available. I know, especially going back to that far. So making sure you're printing out all the quarterly reports, all the annual reports, for example, 941, 940s, that definitely would be helpful to go back and making sure that you're not kind of scrambling last minute to find that information. So I would just add to that. But I think this is definitely a topic that you and I should talk about in the future and maybe find more helpful guidelines for business owners. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.